Welcome to the channel, A31 Avo, today in Scotts Valley, California for the in-ground planting of 4 avocado trees. Originally it was going to be 3, and I had planned for the Gem, the Gwen, and the Carmen. But while on my sand run at Home Depot, my place sand, I encountered a unicorn. A number 7 Gem avocado tree, and that's the one right there. And so I brought out the Gem that I found and what I originally had planned, a Gem in a 5. They wanted to come in big, but I shopped around and all the highly precocious varieties, again, Gem, Gwen, Carmen, and even Lamb, were recent up pots into 15s. So I didn't feel comfortable. I came in with my super performing 5s, and as you can see, check it out. I go around. So this is a Capulin 5. This is a Capulin 5 holding fruit. And so I just came in with the super performing 5s. And I pitched either the 7 Gem or the 5, but they liked them both, so they stayed. These are planted 8 feet apart. Check it out. That's the Gwen, and then down in that corner is going to be the Carmen. Okay. Mocked up basket. Check it out. It's about 16 inches in depth, and I buried it the 2 quarters. The 2 quarters, so it went in 10 inches deep and then mounded up 5 inches above grade. And then to catch, it's hard to see, I'll zoom in, but it's a U-shaped caldera. Like around, all around a 5 to 6 inch lip in width, about 4 to 5 inches in height. And then now that our mound is properly mounted, now that our mound is properly shaped, next is mulch. But I still need to finish planting the Gwen and the Carmen. Let's go. All right, I'm mocked up again, burying it like 2/3, so it's going 10 inches in ground, and then it's going to be the 5 inches above grade. But even then, below that, below the gopher basket, the depth of the spade, which is 10 inches, I'm good, properly drained with half a bag of sand and like about a quarter of the Pride Lance premium compost free potting soil. And then the rest, the backfill, I'm gonna blend again with the sand and the rest of the potting soil. Also a little bit in the hole, fruit tree fertilizer. Fruit tree fertilizer. All right, let's go. Again, I layer up 1 layer of the premium compost free potting soil, a layer of the play sand, and a layer of the native. And then get in there and hand roll. Hand roll, okay? All right, I'm mocked up, I'm good. Time to pull the liner and see the root ball. Check it out, looking good. All the root balls have been good. They're well rooted. Gently disturbed. All right, take a look. Gently disturbed and peeked out whenever possible. Length of the root permitting. Okay, and now backfill. My backfill is native. The rest of the bag of Pride Lands and half a bag of sand. Again, hand blended. And thoroughly hand rolled and blended. Check it out. When you squeeze and press, you want it to just break apart. You don't want it to hold. You want it light, airy, and fluffy. And next up is feeding. Dr. Earth's Fruit Tree Fertilizer 552. About 8 ounces, 1 cup around the tree's drip line. And now scratch it in. Scratch it in to prevent wind erosion. Again, we're throwing the mulch on top of it, so it's not going to fly that easily. But then you also want to drive it down to just prevent it from it being washed away. Okay, scratch it in. Bear claw, 3 inches deep at least. Okay, that's good. And you want to immediately feed the existing root ball, but also condition and entice the roots to come out. Okay? Next up is the Carmen Hass. Alright, so check it out, amending the hole. Once again, the shovel spade deep, 10 inches, potting soil, and then I'm gonna mix some sand. Native is half earth and half base rock. It was backfilled today. The retaining wall is stacked logs and tied into each other with rebar. Okay, so I already know that base rock and earth, that's pretty well draining. And then again, the wall's kind of porous in between the logs, properly draining. But even then, I want to be even lighter at the hole. Okay, so next is sand in the hole. Again, the depth of the spade, 10 inches. And well draining in the lower half. So it's about half a bag of sand. 50 pound bag. All right, take a look, properly blended. This is the consistency, so it's sandy loam. This is the consistency of the soil below the gopher basket. And again, this retaining wall was finished off today. So we are expecting it to sag and settle a little bit. If all the other 3, I've been burying 2/3, so about 10 inches. This one I'm gonna half bury. Again, half bury. And this is a gopher basket. If you've been following, you know that I give it an out on the sides. Instead of folding it over and under, I cut up. And I'll show you in detail right now. So I cut up, wiggle the tab, break it loose, mock up the gopher basket, exposing this hole, giving the roots an out, collapsing it shut, and even folding it over a little bit. I don't want obstruction. Okay? See how this is recommending that you fold it over? Check that out. When you fold that over, how many layers of wire that ends up being? 1, 2, 3. You see? So I don't do that. I don't fold it under. Okay? All right. A little bit of food in ground. Just a little bit. Lower half of the basket filled. Once again, 1 part premium potting soil, 1 part sand, and the recent native backfill. It was half base rock with rich earth. It doesn't ribbon, it breaks apart. So break large clumps, okay? Now remove the can. Take a look at the root ball. Once again, well rooted. Gently see how they're kind of following the shape of the can. So you don't want them just to spin themselves to death. So leave them facing outwards. And then I'm gonna lift it and also gently disturb the underside. And we're good. Backfill, once again. Sand, premium potting soil, and the new native, which is rich earth with base rock. All right, take a look at the backfill. Okay, it's gonna be the sand, the base rock, and the perlite for airage and drainage. For air and drainage, and then retention, some peat moss, and the native. Okay, just gonna dump this wheelbarrow right there. One more thing, leave rocks. Leave rocks, all right? All right, take a look. This one's mounded up higher. All right, and next is fruit tree fertilizer. And then, because it's kind of like a wedge, like a triangle, this one's kind of fanning out that way. Take a look. All right, so I oriented, running most of the limbs parallel to the wall. Scratch in fertilizer. Next up is restake. Staked up. Tree trunk protection sleeve. Okay? At least protect the union. Next up is water. Gently water. Don't wash away the newly shaped mound. Okay, just let it slowly water. Next up is mulch. Wood chips with leaf mulch. Check out the leaves, check out the wood chips. Alright, mulch, mulch, mulch. Alright, have the last tree Carmen watering. And a note about this sleeve, if this is all you have, go for it, use it. Just be careful. In the sleeve, pincher bugs will breed and nest. Breed and nest, hang out there, sleep during the day, and at night crawl up, crawl up, crawl up, and eat your foliage. So watch out for pincher bugs, alright? If you do have that, give it a good shake or take a look, peek into it every once in a while. Shake it up maybe once a week. But this is one better. This is one better. I'm going to put this on that one just so that they're uniform. But yeah, once again, let me shut off the water. So we talk about the trees. Okay, properly sleeved. Once again, this is Gem via Home Depot. It was a number 7 nursery container. I've measured Those twin shoots are at 6 feet in height. Gem. Take a look at the finished fruit, now in season. And this is via Bobcat Ridge avocados, grown in Corralitos, California. So hopefully we get something similar. Next up is a gem via Capulin in a 5. And look, proven, but we're gonna relieve it of its duties, of its fruiting duties. It's too young. Gem in a 5. 8 feet apart, 8 feet apart. 8 feet down. Its mother, Gwen. I would have gone lamb, but lamb is played out. And this is several days after Greg Alder just posted his frustration with lamb being alternate bearing. That's why I decided on a Gwen. But Gwen is going to be a little bit tricky up here. My recommendation is going to be to take out the flower as soon as you see it. Young Gwens get stressed over flowering, and then they'll really want to set fruit. Again, highly precocious, all of these varieties. And then the Mexican uncle, Carmen Hass. El tío mexicano, Carmen Hass. And this is going to flower twice a year. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Once again, Scotts Valley, California. 450 feet in elevation. Carmen Hass. Semi-mounded up. Native. Base rock. Earth. Mixed with sand and premium potting soil. And mulched. Same thing, semi-mounded. Bag of sand, a bag of premium compost-free potting soil. Mulched. And the same. Oh, let's talk about the height. This is 4.5. This is 4 feet tall. 4 feet tall, 3.5, and 4. All right, out. Peace.